It seems clear that the relationship between Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers has run its course, and both player and team are ready to move on. But NBA breakups can be complicated, and for now, the two sides are stuck with each other. Love recently expressed his frustration with the situation in a loss to Toronto.
What is Kevin Love doing?
He's just batting it.
My goodness.
Which eventually led to a public apology. But it wasn't exactly an isolated incident. After going to the finals in each of his first 4 years in Cleveland, 3 seasons of non-stop losing in the post-LeBron era have clearly gotten to Love. And he hasn't been shy about the fact that he'd be happy to play elsewhere.
But Portland is always going to be a special place in my heart. Like, whether it be at the end of my career, whether it be in 6 months, whatever it may be, if I was wearing a Portland jersey, I mean, that's special, right? Like, that's playing at home.
Love's still a skilled player, and it's not too late for him to contribute to a winning team. The question is, will he have a chance to do so before his productive years fully pass him by? At this point, the Cavs would surely be glad to trade him, to the Blazers or to any other team that would be willing to eat the rest of his contract. But does any such team exist? Love has 2 years and $60 million remaining on his deal. He'll be 33 by the time next season starts, and he hasn't played more than 60 games in a season since 2016. This was part of the bargain Love made when he inked his huge 4-year extension with Cleveland in 2018, shortly after LeBron left for Los Angeles. Signing a lucrative long-term contract when you're a veteran approaching a decline phase can make you pretty hard to move. Love also hasn't exactly helped his own case. His scoring, true shooting percentage, and rebounding rates this season were his lowest since his rookie year. He's struggled to stay on the floor, and his defense, never a strong suit, has only gotten worse. But a recent 30-point 14 rebound against the Celtics showed he can still hit some highs.
Plays catch with Love. They've found a connection here in this second half. And Brad Stevens wants a timeout after Kevin Love drills his 5th 3 of the night.
For now, Love's still a big offensive plus. The shooting and passing ability he brings at his position remain hugely valuable and would make him a snug fit in basically any offense. He's still a smart off-ball mover, and a team that employs more willing and capable passers than the Cavs do could probably make better use of those skills. Most importantly, Love is a legitimate stretch big, with a quicker release than most guys his size. His form and shot preparation are a bit rigid and mechanical at this point, but he can still shoot effectively on the move, either coming off of screens or as a trailer in transition. Even in a down year, he still shot 37% on over 6 3-point attempts per game. Once upon a time, Love could even beast smaller players in the post, but he's no longer much of a threat inside the arc. He took 62% of his shots from 3-point range this season, got to the free throw line at by far the lowest rate of his career, and scored at just a 23rd percentile rate on post-ups. He also didn't dunk the ball this season, like at all, not even once.
Could you at least try?
He could vanish for long stretches, chilling on the perimeter and becoming disengaged from the offense. In one game this season against the Wizards, he didn't attempt a single shot in 22 minutes of action. Still, because of his off-ball gravity and his ability to keep the gears moving with his passing, Love tends to have a positive offensive impact even when he struggles individually. The Cavs scored more than 3 extra points per 100 possessions with him on the floor this season than they did with him on the bench. Defensively, it's a much different story. At that end of the floor, Love doesn't really have a position. When he plays power forward, as he did most of the time this season, he struggles to track shooters on the perimeter. He also has to be careful about helping in the middle of the floor because he's too slow to recover and can't make up enough ground with his closeouts. But playing him at center is an even dicier proposition. As the last line of defense, Love isn't so much a hurdle as he is the ribbon stretched across the finish line. He just can't get off the ground quickly enough to contest, which is why opponents shot 73% at the basket this season when Love was in the vicinity. Now, he's never been much of a rim protector, but it's never been quite this bad.
It's totally useless.
And his sluggishness is most damaging to his team's transition defense. Opposing teams consistently shred the Cavs on the break when Love's on the floor. It's worth noting, though, that some of these might just be effort-based issues that Love could improve upon in a winning environment. For what it's worth, he's still a major plus on the defensive glass, with the strength and wherewithal to execute textbook box outs. But a trade still feels extremely unlikely. There are a handful of good teams with frontcourt needs Love can capably fill, but none of those teams will aim to address those needs with a 33-year-old one-way player who will take up more than a quarter of their cap. Any trade would almost certainly require the Cavs to either attach an asset or take back equally bad money in return, which would kind of defeat the purpose from there. So it sure seems like Love is trapped in Cleveland. As Blake Griffin and the Pistons showed a few months ago, however, there is a way out, so long as both sides are willing to make some concessions. Griffin had close to the same term and money left on his contract as Love currently does, and escaping Detroit required him to give back $13 million in a buyout agreement. Griffin's actually a good comp for Love, and not just in terms of his age and contract status, but in terms of his skill set and utility to a contender. Griffin's proven very useful to the Nets in a scaled-down role since signing with them following his buyout. He posted the best true shooting percentage of his career and played his best defense in years. That could be a good indicator of what to expect if Love winds up in a similar situation, playing 15 to 20 minutes a game off the bench for a good team. But there's a reason we almost never see buyouts on the scale of the one Griffin agreed to. Love would have to be willing to make a comparable monetary sacrifice for a chance to play a smaller role elsewhere. And Cleveland would have to be willing to bite the bullet, like Detroit did, and pay him a still handsome sum of money to play for another team. If Love does get bought out, there are plenty of teams who would be interested. Love would look great playing off of Steph Curry and Draymond Green in Golden State. The Warriors badly need more spacing, and someone who can help keep their offense afloat when Steph's on the bench. A reunion with LeBron in LA would also make some sense, and the shooting-starved Lakers have the defensive infrastructure to protect them. The Bucks are always looking for shooting bigs to put around Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Love's passing would be a nice wheel greaser for their occasionally squeaky half-court offense. New Orleans could use a stretchier front-court partner for Zion Williamson, and Love has a relationship with Pelicans GM David Griffin, the very person who brought him to Cleveland back in 2014. Although a Love-Williamson-Ingram frontcourt might make for the worst defense in the league. All of those possibilities are contingent on Love and the Cavs negotiating an agreement sooner than later. It feels equally possible that he'll remain in Cleveland until the last year of his contract, when the areas in which he's already declining could be too far gone for him to have any value to a good team. Love can still be a difference maker in the right situation, but he's in a race against the clock to find that situation. And at the moment, the safe bet might be on the clock.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.